my little mateys, it's Uncle Warp back again to wish you another fantastic voyage through time with AJ and his plucky pals. Well, it won't last long. Soon the Kairos will be mine, and the time travelers will be history.
Time, the most precious treasure in the universe. Our mission? To explore it. To travel through history, unraveling its mysteries, unlocking its secrets, unleashing its energy. Knowledge is power.
Well, it's a great big world, and it's been around a long, long time.
AJ time travelers, traveling through history, unlocking its secrets.
The ring is the key.
AJ time travelers,
Question unravelers.
knowledge is power. AJ time travelers.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Dad.
Sorry, son. Just getting ready for our bi-monthly badminton bash, eh?
Whoa! He's no problem, but she's got a nasty little backhand.
So, AJ, how was your new art class?
It just isn't going to happen.
I thought you loved to draw.
But everybody else in the class is so good at it, and I kind of stink.
Honey.
Oh, that's ridiculous, son. Well, show us one of your drawings.
Okay.
Oh, that's Uncle...
It's supposed to be a self-portrait.
Okay, so quit. If it's not easy, give up.
Good idea.
Honey.
What I meant was, just because something doesn't come easily, it's no reason to quit.
If you keep practicing, AJ, you may find that you have talent after all.
That's right. Why, just a few short weeks ago, I didn't know a good mitten from a bad mitten. But now... I'll get that.
Finally, something I can do.
Commander, our warp sensors are lit up like a Christmas tree.
Sounds like Warp with all the trimmings. Prepare the ship for my arrival.
Commander's coming.
Engaging systems.
Just gotta finish my chores. All done. Ooh, looking sharp.
We're ready.
Ring me up, please.
CNCS Potentia!
Knowledge is power!
Commander on the bridge.
Troops!
Commander on the bridge.
Commander on the bridge.
Commander on the bridge.
Commander on the bridge.
They've been working on that all week.
We're going to appear twice a night at the luau room of the El Macombo.
Sensors detect warp is nearing.
Okay, everybody ready?
I'm more than ready. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. My chance to grab the brass ring. My time to shine. They say every dog has his day. Well, this is my day.
Your day indeed, your last day.
Be nice, Warp.
Never! And as for the rest of you, get to work polishing the Kairos. I wish to see my reflection when I take over.
Careful what you wish for, Warp.
You just might get it.
I'll never let you take the Kairos, Warp.
We'll see, Captain Kidd. For now, I challenge you to find someone who thought he had no talent, but cleaned up the medical world through hard work. Do it fast, or lose it all.
You know, it's just that attitude that's made him America's sweetheart.
Someone who thought he had no talent, but cleaned up the medical world.
May I suggest my friend Horace? He thinks he has no talent, and he's a janitor at a hospital.
But Izzy, your pal Horace isn't, or hasn't yet become an important figure in history.
Then may I ask who, if not Horace?
Ew, yuck. Are we on a Listerine again?
That's it! Listerine! It's named after one of the great doctors in history, Joseph Lister. He really cleaned up medicine.
Bit, set the coordinates.
Destination locked in.
London, England, 1895.
Honk if you love spam.
Maria, contact the time tower. We're ready to blast into the past.
Time Tower, this is a Kairos requesting left down time departure.
Roger that, Kairos. Ah, going to England, huh? Well, you better brush up on the language.
We already speak English.
Oh, that's what you think, mister. Over there, an elevator's called a lift, a truck a lorry, an apartment a flat, and the bathroom a loo.
What about a clearance?
Well, that's still called a clearance, even in England.
Can we have one?
You're clear direct to London, England in the year 1895. Taxi to passenger entry platform 85.9er. Oh, and when you get to London, be careful. Everybody time travels on the wrong side of the road.
Let's make time tracks.
Prepare for arrival.
On the planet Earth, west of Europe, in the North Atlantic lies England and its capital, London, swinging home of Carnaby Street, Piccadilly Circus, Westminster Abbey, Big Ben, and new Big Ben Light. It's also home of the president of the Royal Society of London, Joseph Lister, a hard-working surgeon who made medical history.
Let me give you some background, AJ. That's better. In our time, medicine is very scientific. Doctors do research and experiments to find the best way to battle with disease. But it wasn't always so. For many centuries, medicine and science traveled different paths. Medical techniques like surgery or dentistry were performed by barbers who would dry their bloody bandages on a pole outside their shops. That's where the traditional red and white barber pole comes from. Hippocrates, the father of medicine.
Sorry. Thanks.
Hippocrates, the father of medicine, made his students pledge that first they would do no harm. But the hospitals they practiced at in the 19th century did a lot of harm.
Why?
They couldn't figure it out. All they knew was that sick patients who didn't go into hospitals lived longer, healthier lives than sick patients who did go into hospitals.
That's why I eat 20 apples a day. It keeps all the doctors away.
But you see, that problem was solved by our very special guest, an English surgeon who was bigger than the Who.
I don't know. Learn your own lines. More powerful than the Rolling Stones.
A man who saved more millions than Paul McCartney.
Let's give a rousing, meticulously clean welcome to Dr. Joseph.
Ah! Wash your hands before you do that!
Lister!
Look at all that smoke. We'll have to sterilize this entire place. Stat! We've obviously got a very sick patient here. Sick as a dog. Clean my instruments. I'll have to operate immediately.
Operate? I'm fine.
Poppycock, look at those eyes.
Don't you mean puppycock? This is like Clockwork Orange. What's wrong with my eyes?
And that tongue. Oh, this disease is obviously in its final stages. We'll have to operate immediately.
Dr. Lister! There's no need to operate. He's a dog. There's no cure for that.
Don't touch me. I'm sterile.
They got you too, huh?
Doctor, we've come from the future to talk to you about your life.
First, let's talk about these deplorable, unsanitary conditions.
I'm AJ Malloy, and you're on a time machine.
Then there is no patient?
Fortunately, we're all healthy.
And that's mostly thanks to you.
Well, you're very welcome. Though I would gladly amputate your hair. All in a life's work, really.
Yeah.
Quite.
Right here, then.
Indeed.
Hip, hip.
Hooray!
Dr. Lister, please, explain to us how you changed the world.
I will, but first, I haven't washed my hands in 30 seconds! Better. I realized early in my career that we surgeons had a severe problem. We were losing our patience.
People are always losing their patience with me.
Oh, we weren't losing our patience. We were losing our patience. They were dying on us left and right.
And the difference is?
I better take over the questions for a while. Dr. Lister, can you describe the problem?
It seemed every time we brought someone into the hospital, instead of getting better, they got sicker and developed an infection.
What exactly is an infection?
An infection is an invasion of little germy things in or on your body. Your body tries to fight off those nasty germy invasions with its white blood cells and antibodies. Your body uses up so much energy fighting the infection that you have little energy left for work or play.
I see. So you'd have to give the patients medicine for the infection.
Wash your brain out with soap. There is no medicine that fights infections.
Antibiotics, those infection-fighting wonder drugs we take for granted, won't be discovered for another 30 or 40 years.
So, when someone's got an infection, what do you do?
If an infection isn't an arm or a leg, we'd have to amputate.
You mean cut them off?
Radio! Oh, nice cut. And I can see by the rings that the chap was 30.
Here you go. Thanks.
A clean mouth is a happy mouth. Now, where were we?
We were cutting off people's legs.
Oh, the glories of modern medicine.
And gory, glory days they are.
We couldn't figure out why people in hospitals were getting more infections than people not in hospitals. And then I discovered the culprits.
Well, it's an old-fashioned
surgical coat.
It is. And these.
Those look like surgical instruments.
They are. And the worst culprits of all. The doctor's hands!
Wait a minute. They can't be the culprits. The hands are a surgeon's most important tools.
And before the 1860s, a patient's worst nightmare.
Dry weather and chapping, huh?
No. I believe these things were causing the infections they were working to cure.
You mean doctors were using their hands to put germs in patients' bodies?
Precisely.
Dog boy got one right! Had to happen sooner or later.
You see, these hands, these tools, this coat, they're covered with infectious germs. So, I did an experiment. Whenever I washed my hands and instruments between patients, my patients stopped dying so much.
Bet that made collecting the bill a whole lot easier.
No!
You mean doctors didn't used to wash their hands?
Believe it or not, other surgeons considered it a waste of time.
You see, before Dr. Lister, surgeons would wear the same coat every day, which would become caked with blood and pus from their various patients.
Anyone else hungry?
And not only would they not wash their clothes, but they wouldn't wash their instruments or their hands either.
Either.
Neither.
Neither. Ding. Well, I'm glad we cleaned that up. Washing my hands, clothes, and instruments made a huge difference, but I didn't know why. Not until I came upon the writings of that French genius. I'm speaking, of course, of Monsieur Louis Pasteur.
Oh, for sure. Monsieur Pasteur.
Yes. In France, all the wine was going bad. But Monsieur Pasteur discovered what was causing the problem. Tiny little creatures, germs and bacteria. They're too little to see, but they live on our skin, on our clothes, and in the air we breathe. He claimed these teensy little creatures were getting into the wine and spoiling it.
What's that got to do with human infection?
Only everything. You see, if there were tiny little creatures in the air that were spoiling the wine, why couldn't the same creatures be getting into people's bodies and spoiling them?
That was a brilliant leap! How did you come up with it?
Sheer hard work. See, I never give up. I'm like a bulldog. Once I sink my teeth into a problem, there's no letting go till I've got it solved.
And when someone tries to take your problem away from you, you snap and growl at them?
Didn't talent have anything to do with solving your problem?
Talent? There are plenty of doctors with more talent than I. I just try really, really hard. That's my talent. That's better. Anyway, I realized that soap and water weren't strong enough to kill all the germs around the wound, so I started washing everything, including my patients, in carbolic acid.
In Lister's time, they experimented with carbolic acid to treat
Raw sewage!
Raw sewage, oh boy! There goes that dinner bell again.
I will now demonstrate by cleaning this germy fish.
Big whoop! I can do the same thing.
It didn't take me long to realize that pure carbolic acid was too strong, so I watered it down.
The process of infecting is called sepsis. So, Lister's solution was called antiseptic because it fought off infection.
Wow! That's wonderful!
Unclean! Unclean! Here, goggle with this.
Thanks. Listerine?
No, carbolic acid.
So, Dr. Lister, I bet all the other doctors were pretty grateful for your discoveries.
Not exactly. They thought I was a pain where they sit, and that my antiseptic procedures were useless extra work. But the results spoke for themselves.
And they spoke loudly, too. Because of your work, death rates in hospitals went way down. People were no longer better off staying home when they were sick. Your contribution to medical science made such a difference in so many millions of lives that historians in our time will divide the story of medicine into two periods. Pre-Listerian, before you, and post-Listerian, after you.
Not too shabby for a kid with no talent, eh?
Not too shabby at all.
Totally lacking in shab.
Thanks ever so. And do try to stay clean, won't you? Ta!
You know, there's a guy who wasn't really that talented. Through hard work, he made a difference.
You might say he cleaned up.
And all this good, clean fun is making me sick! Let's get our hands dirty, shall we, Commander? It's quiz time!
Go ahead, Warp. I may not have the most talent in the world, but nobody's gonna try harder.
Try this! Question 1. Before Lister's time, what were hospitals like?
Disgusting. Because doctors didn't know to use antiseptic techniques when performing surgery, patients often lost limbs or died from infections that could have been avoided.
Ah, that answer was like an infection. You could have picked it up anywhere. Question 2. What scientists' research explained why antiseptic procedures worked in hospitals?
That would be the great French scientist Louis Pasteur, who figured out that there were tiny germs too small to see all over the place. When Lister discovered that they were the cause of many infections, he was able to save millions of lives.
Commander, get ready to stumble! Question 3. What complicated formula did Lister come up with to kill these germs?
I know. Acid! He used watered-down carbolic acid to kill germs on his hands, his instruments, and even his patients.
Drat, and double drat! You're going to get it next time. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Why doesn't anybody hear me? Nobody ever listens to me! Mommy!
Excellent, AJ. You certainly are a talented commander.
Oh, hard-working, too.
That's why we picked him.
I thought it was because the uniform fit.
Thanks, guys. It was great meeting somebody who made such a big difference.
And it's saved forever on this golden disc.
Never let it go. Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is also knowing when it's time to go. Power it up, Bit. Commander's Journal. Subject, Great Doctors. We have met the father of antiseptic techniques, Joseph Lister, and he has shown us how his work ended up saving millions and millions of lives. Dr. Lister didn't think he was that talented, so he decided he'd have to work harder than other doctors. Today, he's remembered and they're not. Hard work, cool.
Is this the room of our budding Rembrandt?
Well, I may not be a Rembrandt.
Let's see what you've got so far.
Okay, don't laugh.
Oh, AJ.
Well, at least you're trying hard, and that's the important thing, huh? How do you cover all those little numbers so well, son?